Hey everybody! So last year I did that vlog on my car troubles over 2018 and I actually enjoyed doing it. By the way, I got a new car. I'll probably show it to you at the end of the year. Hopefully it doesn't get destroyed by then. I'm actually filming this on May 18th because I just want to get this video done and I don't know if I'll have time later. But if you're watching this, it should be August 3rd, 2019. Meaning it has been exactly 10 years since I started my first job on August 3rd, 2009. And in the past 10 years, I have had 7 part-time jobs. I kind of just want to talk about them, show which ones were worth doing, which ones you should avoid, because I know I have a bit of a younger audience who might be doing part-time jobs before they go to college or while they're in high school or right out while they're in college and stuff like that. So I don't know how many of these would be useful to you because a couple of them were specific to my town, but I don't know. I've had 2 full-time jobs. We won't be going into those. I might talk about the job I have now whenever I finally quit it. I don't know. I have some stories, but we'll see. So this will be in 3 parts. This first one's going to be just the first job I had, because it was the one I had the longest. The rest only lasted about a few months at the most. So what was my first job? Well, it was a position in the kitchen at the hospital in my old hometown. This hospital pretty much runs the economy of this town. It's this... Walmart and some of the big fast food chains, I swear, make up at least a quarter of all the jobs, in this area. So like I said, I started working there August 3rd, 2009, which was actually only a few weeks after the federal minimum wage was raised to $7.25 an hour. And it hasn't moved since. And in fact, in Pennsylvania, it's still $7.25, although I've heard that this hospital actually has a new minimum wage for all their employees, even the janitors and other landscapers and stuff, and now it's $12 an hour. So damn it, I was born too fucking early. I mean, at the time I didn't mind it. I was just happy to have any money coming in because I rarely ever got an allowance. My parents sort of went on and off on whether we would get one. Sometimes they'd give me money every couple weeks, sometimes they wouldn't. But for the most part, money that I had was for my birthday and Christmas, and that's it. But anyway, yes, it was in the hospital kitchen, and basically it was kind of a guessing game as to what you would do each day. Our job was to get all the food onto trays and then take them up to the patients. There were 9 floors, sort of. The second floor was weird, but we'll get into that later. So when we came in, everyone was assigned to a certain area. It was along a conveyor belt. So everything was already counted, by the people who came in earlier, and it was made and all that good stuff. So when we came in at 4 o'clock on weekdays, we just have to bring it out, all the drinks, all the main dishes, all the desserts, all that good shit. And we started doing it at 4:30. It started with the caller. They had to yell out what the main course was, and also sometimes they'd have to scream down to the people doing the liquids, which was... It basically went caller, main course, desserts, bit down, liquids, checker, put it on the cart. So sometimes the caller would have to yell out chicken broth to the person doing the liquids, because that's how you made chicken broth. So yeah, the caller calls out the main course and then has to get the hot plates using this sticky thing that, God, I don't know how they would do it. That would scare me because those things were burning. And they also had to put the silverware and all that good shit on. I never did this job, and I'm glad I never did this job, because I'm not a yeller. I don't talk that loud. I've never talked that loud. This is pretty much the loudest I get, and I'm alone in my room. So then, of course, comes main course and desserts. I literally only did main course once, and it was awful. But desserts was so easy. Seriously. I say desserts, it was desserts / not even side dishes, pasta salad, the fruits, stuff like that, We just called it desserts. But yeah, that was the easiest job in the place. Then it would go down to beverages, which for dinner time was almost always tea. And there was also coffee and decaf. But during dinner time, we didn't have many of those, but we'll get to breakfast. Then a manager would check to make sure everything was on it, and then someone would load it onto a cart, and someone else would take it up to whichever floor it needed to go to. When you had to take carts up, there's nothing worse than coming back and seeing like there are 3 carts or so, especially if one of them was the ICU unit. The ICU unit, or the second floor, was... You actually had to go down. You had to go down to the second floor. You had to go through a long bunch of hallways, up another elevator, and then you were in the ICU unit. So yeah, after we're done with that, we get our break, and then it's cleanup time. Someone goes, brings down the carts, then another one brings them in, unloads everything. Someone else dumps all the food and puts all the dirty dishes on another conveyor belt. Someone else feeds it into the dishwasher, and someone else takes them out of this dishwasher and puts them into the plate holders, the tray holders, all that good shit. And we keep doing that until it's done. Now, obviously, the job you wanted was the person feeding it into the dishwasher. That is the easiest job in the place. The one you don't want is the guy taking them out of the dishwasher, or the receiver, because those dishes were hot. They were fucking hot. And I, of course, got that job a lot. I think I might still have burns on my fingertips just from how much I touched, like, extremely hot things, including the hot plates. You put a hot plate through a hot dishwasher, it's gonna come out hot. So all of that was fun, but it doesn't apply to me that much because by March 2010, I pretty much became the pot wash guy every day I was there. Everything the cook uses, when he's done, he'll put on this big cart, you take it in, you wash it, you put it in. That's easy enough. I actually liked doing this because I actually asked for it. Like, I asked my boss, like, I like doing pot wash, can I just do that every day? And he's like, yeah, and I did it. Most weekdays and pretty much every weekend. Oh, the weekend pot wash shift. This was from 7 a.m. to 3:30 in the afternoon, which again, you may think is kind of shitty, but I liked it. I liked having my weekend evenings free. Here's how they went. I clock in at 6:55 a.m. You can't clock in any earlier than that. Immediately, I go to the fridge and get milk because the pot wash guy for breakfast was also the liquids guy. So I'm in charge of all the drinks. And since it's breakfast, we get a lot of coffee, both regular and decaf, and a lot of juice and a lot of milk. You have to go in. It's counted. You know how many milks you're supposed to have, but you have to go and manually count all the milk and shit that you're gonna need. You usually get a little extra just to be safe. You also have to brew the coffee, and 1 pouch was never enough because apparently sick people love their coffee in the morning. And here's a really annoying thing about liquids. You don't know what you'll need until the tray gets down there. So let's say you need tea, coffee, and decaf because people like having all 3. If I don't make it in advance, which you're really not supposed to because it's going to get colder faster, I could hold up the line for a good 20 seconds. I burned my hands so much. Like you put it down, like you hit the nozzle, you put the tray on, and before you sort of, just out of instinct, you'll take the cup before it completely shuts off so it'll get on your hand. So much milk. Then once that was over, I went in and did the pot washing. It wasn't bad except for one thing. Eggs. I grew to hate eggs over the course of doing this job. I really fucking hate eggs. Once you learn the trick, it's not too bad. So once you're done with that, you go and get all the stuff from all the pots from breakfast. You go in and just soak the eggs in freezing, like the coldest you can get water. You let them sit there for a while, then you take a knife and just go to town. That is the only way you can get eggs. I'm sorry, that is the only way to get those things clean. When you're done washing all the pots, you have to take them off, put them on the line and through the dishwasher. Then you take them out, put them back on the cart. You're probably going to have to clean the cart a little bit, so you'll take one of those nozzle things and just spray it. And then you put it back on, you take it out, you put them off, and by then probably another cart is full. Oh, and during cleanup for breakfast, guess what job the pot wash guy had? Receiving. So yeah, I did a lot of pot washing during my time there. I would be soaked by the time I was done. One really cool thing though, is that sometimes the cook would leave a few french fries or chicken tenders in one of the pots, and most of the time they were still pretty warm just for us pot washers. It was kind of nice. There were like 3 cooks. One was like an old man, one was like this super hot blonde, and then there was like one of the sub-managers who had like this very high voice. But yeah, getting those pots out of the dishwasher was torture. They were so hot, like especially like the trays they do bacon on, like you put them down and then you gotta hold them. Oh, and one more thing the pot wash guy has to worry about. While I'm back there washing and everyone else is out there on the line, I also had to make sure that the conveyor belt that people in the cafeteria will put their trays when they're done on. I have to make sure that doesn't get too full. So usually I just turn it on and leave it on, and just, if they put it on, it would go straight into the kitchen, and we're supposed to continuously clean up after that. So that was like the actual job, and overall, it was fine. Like, it was an okay job. I was good at it. It wasn't too hard. I actually kind of liked getting up early on weekends and then leaving by 3:30. So how about the coworkers? Honestly, I liked them. There were a fair amount of high school students working there, a few of them from my class. And this group of people were the only group of coworkers at any of the part-time jobs, so discount full-time ones, that I actually considered them friends. During our lunch breaks, we'd talk about shit, we'd joke around, we'd smack talk each other. I was friends with most of them on Facebook. We even hung out a few times after work. We went bowling together, because that's how boring this town was. But yeah, that was kind of nice because, shock of all shocks, I didn't have that many friends in high school. I started to get some groups of friends when I was in my last few years. But it was nice to have just a group of people to hang out with and talk with every day. Although there was one coworker who almost got me in trouble. She told one of our bosses that I called her a bitch, which I did not. But even if I did, we traded insults with each other all the time, like that. We were teenagers, that's what we do. So I probably wouldn't have been serious, but I swear I never called her a bitch. Don't worry, nothing came of that. One of the girls was just weird, but kind of amazing. She would yell a lot, and she kind of talked very Valley Girl-ish, like, oh my God, yes, I totally did that. She once was told to stop one of the food carts from leaving because they had forgotten something, and it was just being pulled out by the guy taking it up. So she just runs and screams, "Stop!" Like at the top of her lungs. It was so funny. Some of my cousins actually went to school with her, and they showed me a video project she did about Pride and Prejudice. It was a music video with her as the main character, whose name I don't remember. And the baby was Ahmed the Dead Terrorist, you know, the Jeff Dunham puppet. She had the A on her and everything. Wait, no, not Pride and Prejudice, the Scarlet Letter. Not Pride and Prejudice, Scarlet Letter. I still don't remember the main character's name. But yeah, she did it as a parody of Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake. And so the lyrics were like, I brought adultery back. Yeah, them Puritans don't know how to act. It was so bizarre. I have no idea where this girl is now. She wanted to be a fashion designer, so I hope to God, like, she is interning for some, like, world-famous fashion designer, because she deserved it. She was something else. We had several managers. One of them was actually a mayor. Not of the town the hospital was in, that would make too much sense, but of a town a few miles north. I lived right on the border of PA in New York, so he was actually a mayor of a New York City. Not New York City, a New York City. Our dress code was a polo shirt, so we could hang our name tag, and khakis, dress pants, whatever. Plus, we had to wear something on our head. For people with short hair, which was pretty much all the men. It was a paper hat for the people with longer hair, which was pretty much all the women, and one guy who liked to grow his hair out, it was a hairnet. I almost actually had to start wearing one of those hairnets because in high school I liked to grow my hair out as long as possible. I never got it down to my shoulders or anything, but it would be all over and really far out, so push the hat up. So my boss is like, you need a haircut or you're gonna have to start wearing a hairnet. I liked growing it out because I knew I was gonna lose it, so I wanted to enjoy it while I had it. The worst nights were when they were holding events, like Christmas parties and galas. So our shift is supposed to be over at 7:30 on weekdays for us high school students. Pretty much everyone. The place closes at 7:30. There were some nights where we would be there until past 9 o'clock. Not often, but if there's a party going on, we'd be there past 9. Probably the job I had the second most after pot wash was the person who took all the carts up to the different floors. Most of them just looked the same. Like I said, to get to the ICU unit was an adventure in and of itself. The top floor was the maternity ward, and I loved this place because it was always so cozy and welcoming. And with this hospital, I don't know if others do, but whenever a new baby was born, they'd play a little lullaby over the speakers to let everyone know a new life was born. After you were done bringing all the carts down, you'd have to empty all the trash cans. There was 2 carts, one for trash, one for cardboard. Then you had to take them out and make sure to dump them so they were empty. In order to dump them, you have to go basically the same route you would for the ICU unit. You go down through the long hallways, which takes almost 5 minutes to get there. The only difference is when you get to the second elevator, instead of going up, you go down. Then there was a trash compactor, but the cardboard thing was actually outside, the cardboard compactor. And when it's 10 degrees out, that could be fucking torture, because you don't have time to go get a coat. Oh god, near Christmas, every employee in the hospital would get a free ham or turkey, and they had to come down to the kitchen to get them, and they all came in cardboard, so someone, which was me, had to continuously take the cardboard down. Back and forth and back and forth, and oh god, you just take the frickin' cardboard with you, you lazy doctors and stuff. The worst shift you could get would be a split shift. This would be you come in at 7 a.m., then you leave at 11, come back at 4, then leave at 7:30. I hated when they did that to me. Also, at the end of each day, we had to clean out the dishwasher, which was fucking disgusting. I consider myself a pretty great employee. I was there for almost 2 years, and I never once called in sick. I rarely asked off. It was my birthdays, I took a vacation in summer of 2010. Oh, and prom night of my junior year, which that's a story in and of itself. And anytime someone else called off and they needed someone to come in, who would do it 99% of the time? This guy. I was always willing to help others if they needed it. I never talked back. I was a good employee and no one could tell me different. So, that's really about it. I guess the only thing left to talk about was, how did I quit? Well, it was June 2011 and I was about to graduate from high school. I was actually going to stay for the rest of summer, but my dad actually told me to quit so I could have the summer to myself. I was a bit hesitant, but I didn't put up that much of a fight. So I put in my 2 weeks and my last day was the day before graduation, and that was it. Do I have any regrets? I wish I had saved more of the money. I really only get about $300 a paycheck, but I'd often spend it all because I never had that much money before, so as soon as I get my paycheck, I would go get Burger King and then go buy movies, some of which I didn't even care to see. I just wanted them because I never had money before. And give your kids an allowance. Please, let them know the value of money. Overall, the job was alright. I would not have been able to live off of it because, like I said, it was only $300 every 2 weeks. But the job itself was fine. Probably still one of the better jobs I've had. But that's just because most of the rest of them were goddamn terrible. And next time we'll discuss the jobs I had during my summers in college. So thank you all for watching and see you tomorrow. Bye.